Welcome to another episode of TE Destinations. I'm your host, Rob, and today we're going to be covering the Amalfi Coast, covering all the beautiful towns that this wonderful area has to offer. Ravello, the town of Amalfi, Positano, this magnificent Villa Cimbrone, and much more. Andiamo! After living in Italy for almost 25 years, I'm finally going to see the Amalfi Coast and surrounding islands, come si deve. The rugged landscape and pristine blue Mediterranean waters peppered with amazingly beautiful Italian towns has made this one of the most sought-out vacation spots in the world, and we are going to see why. We start our day driving through the mists and light rain to reach the heights of the soaring town of Ravello, a beautiful medieval municipality from the 5th century that later became a highly coveted place to live for the aristocracy of the United Kingdom and the US because of the climate for perfect gardens and its outstanding views. The Villa Cimbrone was bought by the Lord Grimthorpe, who had it completely transformed in the early 20th century with an amazing mixture of styles from Gothic to Arab and much more. It has an ideal climate for growth and the perfect setting for the pièce de résistance, the terrace of infinity. The famous US intellectual Gore Vidal, also resident of Ravello, boasted that the view from the Infinity Terrace is the finest in the world, and anyone who has ever visited the Belvedere on a clear day would have trouble disputing it. Without a doubt, one of the most beautiful garden settings that I have ever seen. Next stop, the town of Amalfi, on the Amalfi Coast. A charmingly small city nestled within the cliffs and sea of the coastline, it became a popular place for the British to vacation in the early 1900s. In the Middle Ages, Amalfi was one of the major naval powers of the Mediterranean Sea and was stiff competition for Venice, Pisa, and Genoa with a population of over 70,000 at its height. Today, it has a population of about 5,000, but still has jewels of its wealth and power from the past when you look at its magnificent cathedral dedicated to St. Andrew. A clear clue that we have St. Andrew before us is because he has the X-shaped cross with him. Like his brother Peter, he did not feel worthy to be crucified in the way of Jesus and specifically asked to be placed on a diagonal cross. We drive to a lovely little restaurant before our next stop to enjoy the views and some of the local seafood and house wine. And if I see penne all'arrabbiata on the menu, I cannot turn this angry spicy delight down. Now we arrive at what many people consider to be the crown jewel of the Amalfi Coast, Positano, a place that even the ancient wealthy Romans considered an ideal vacation spot. It really was a small fishing village that started to become a point of destination for people in the 1900s, but exploded because of an article written by John Steinbeck in 1953. Positano bites deep, he wrote. It is a dream place that isn't quite real when you are there and becomes beckoningly real after you have gone. Everyone who comes here wants to be part of the fun. They buy some local fashion, lay out on the beach, and become part of the living dream that is the lifestyle of this splendorous place. Now, to really take things up a notch, we get on a friend's rented catamaran and to see what the surrounding islands have to offer. First stop, Procida, a quaint place where the buildings are filled with mellifluous multicolors that charmed me into thinking that we were approaching a living Neapolitan presepe. The Poseidon gardens on Ischia were glorious and curative, and we hopped through 20 different pools at various temperatures, which helped us to relax and get ready for some touring on the most famous isle of them all, Capri. A place that is the pinnacle of luxury but still accessible for all. No matter if you arrive on a private yacht or a rowboat, you will fall in love with this island. We meet up with charming TE guide Constantino, who is also a native of the island. We are on the search for two of the most famous, fabulous villas on Capri. Ancient writer Tacitus writes that the Emperor Tiberius had 12 villas on the island named after the main Roman gods. This one was named after the king of the gods and was the largest and his favorite place to live. He preferred Capri over Rome, spent most of his reign here, and one can easily understand why. Although, his guests feared to visit him here because it was well known that if you displeased him, he could very well throw you off the cliff. We hiked down through the woods to arrive at the neoclassical wonder of the Villa LYSIS, built for Jacques Ferncen. It was his self-chosen exile from France after a scandal, and it was dedicated to the youth of love. It has the best view of the main port of Capri, hands down. Thanks for watching our video, and a special thanks to Through Eternity Tours. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified when we have new content updated. And always remember, finish your day in Capri with a lovely glass of Franciacorta. Ciao!